And a woman came to Nisargadatta, who had given up all of his worldly possessions, who was a school teacher from England, who had cancer, and she was pleading with him to listen to her case. And she got very impatient with him and said to him, I have so many problems. And he said, you do not have any problems. And she said, how can you say that? He said, because your body has problems, but you don't have any problems. And she said, but I suffer. And as you heard me say earlier, he said, you do not suffer. Only the person you imagine yourself to be suffers. And then he gave what I consider the most powerful affirmation I've ever heard, which is I use every day. I have it written in my car and on the mirror where I shave in the morning. She said to him, you mean to tell me that you don't have any problems and you don't suffer? And he said to her, ma'am, he said, in my world, nothing ever goes wrong. Now there's an affirmation. In my world, nothing ever goes wrong. I don't live in the world of the body and the ego. I live in the world of the spirit. And I am the witness to all of the rest of this. And I'm not attached to the outcome. I had a patient coming to me when I was a therapist years ago in New York, out on the island, when I was teaching at the university. And her name is Noreen. And Noreen was a chronic depressive, and she came to me depressed and was told that this was a guy who wasn't going to sit around and be your friend, and you weren't going to purchase a friend. We're going to see about changing things, or we're not going to be in therapy together. And she said, I asked her, I said, how long have you been depressed? And she said, I've been depressed for years and years. I said, is there any ever time when you are not depressed? She said, I am always depressed. So I was looking for an entry point. I said, is there any organ in your body, perhaps? Any part of your body that isn't depressed? She said, every organ in my body is depressed. I said, well, let's look at your dreams. When you sleep at night, she said, I go to bed depressed, I take Prozac, I wake up depressed, I eat depressed. There is no part of me that is not depressed. She was really into her depression. And she was. I mean, she looked it and acted it, and she wasn't kidding, and it was serious. I don't make light of it. And I said to her, Noreen, I asked her the key question. I said, tell me, I said, have you been noticing your depression more lately? And she said, yes, I have. That's why I've come to you, because the other therapy hasn't worked, and I really thought maybe you could offer me some hope. So I said, so you have been noticing it more lately? She said, yes. I said, well, then tell me, is the noticer depressed? And she was stumped. And that's where we began. With the noticer, who cannot be depressed. The noticer just is the compassionate witness. That's where you have to go in your life. You want to rid yourself of pain? You want to rid yourself of struggle, of suffering? You begin to observe it and not attach yourself to it. You watch your body do what it has to do. And you can see it. As you become the compassionate witness and you understand quantum mechanics, you begin to see that where you place your attention, the observer, that which you observe, and keep on observing, that's what you begin to manifest. And the physical world becomes a reflection of how you witness. The observer himself or herself literally affects the outcome. And you can truly learn to manifest and control your coincidences, like us meeting, like my former department head showing up, like all of you who've had these kinds of things happen to you in your life. You can begin through the process of witnessing to see it begin to manifest. If you abandon the doubt, if you erase the past, if you get rid of all the labels, you have got to let go of your Italianness, your Jewishness, your maleness, your conservativeness, your Arizonanness, your blackness, your whiteness, your oldness, your youngness. You are none of those things. You are a spiritual being, divine and eternal. And all the emphasis that you place on this physical world and the physical things that divide us will keep you back in the ego. There are no white people. There are no black people. There are no women. There are no men. As Gandhi said, in heaven there is no religion. There's nothing to divide any of us. When you see yourself as the witness, you eliminate all of those things. And once you've been able to cultivate the witness, you can begin to observe your body, you can observe your thoughts, you can see that you're not your thoughts, you are that person who is thinking them. And you can literally place your attention on which ones you want and which ones you don't want.
We begin with the most profound and essential truth. You are already whole, already complete, and already enough. The world may attempt to convince you otherwise, whispering in your ear that you must become something more, that you must shrink yourself to fit into the boxes it has created for you. But here, in the deepest recesses of your soul, you know the truth. You are not meant to shrink, to minimize, or to diminish yourself to meet the standards of a world that cannot even comprehend the vastness of your potential. The truth, dear soul, is that your destiny is not to become someone else, but to become more fully and completely who you already are. The world around you is constantly changing, constantly shifting, offering you opportunities to become small, to fit into molds, to conform to the expectations of others. But I am here to remind you of something far greater. You are not meant to shrink to fit into this world. You are meant to expand into the fullest expression of who you are, to shine brightly, to belong, not because you have diminished yourself, but because you have fully embraced your own magnificence. When you shrink yourself, you are living a lie. You are living in a space that is not your own. You are adjusting your being to meet the false expectations of others, trading your authenticity for approval, your power for acceptance. But listen to the voice deep within you. It is time to let go of that lie. It is time to step into the truth that you do not need anyone's permission to be your fullest self. You do not need to shrink, diminish, or apologize for your brilliance. Your soul is not here to play small. Your soul is here to dance boldly and freely, to express the divine essence that flows within you. You were not created to blend into the shadows, to become invisible, or to hide in corners. You were created to stand tall, to expand into the greatness of your being, to show the world who you are, unapologetically, fearlessly, and powerfully. Now, understand this. The process of expanding to belong is not an easy one. It requires courage. The courage to let go of the past and all the false stories you have been told. It requires the courage to release the need for external validation, the need for others to tell you who you are and what you are worth. It requires the courage to walk away from what is familiar, what is comfortable, and step into the unknown, knowing that the path ahead is one of your own creation. This is not a journey for the faint of heart. It is the path of the warrior, the one who refuses to settle for anything less than their truth. It is the journey of the awakened soul who no longer seeks approval, who no longer believes in the lies that they have been fed, but instead stands firmly in the belief that they are worthy of their dreams, their desires, and their limitless potential. And so the first step in expanding to belong is releasing the past. You cannot move forward if you are constantly looking over your shoulder, holding on to the weight of past mistakes, past disappointments, and past failures. These are not your truths. They are simply experiences that have shaped you, but they do not define you. The person you were yesterday is not the person you are today, and it is not the person you are becoming. To release the past, you must forgive yourself. You must release the judgments you have placed upon yourself for not being enough, for not doing enough, for not living up to some illusory standard of perfection. You are not here to be perfect, dear one. You are here to be real. You are here to be authentic. And in your authenticity, in your willingness to be vulnerable, to be imperfect, you will find your true power. The second step in expanding to belong is shifting your mindset. The world tells you that you must hustle, that you must work harder, push further, strive more. But I am here to tell you that true belonging, true peace, true success comes not from striving, but from surrender. It comes from knowing that the universe is not something you have to fight against, but something you are already in harmony with. You do not need to compete for your place in this world, for your place has already been set. You do not need to chase after approval, for you are already approved by the divine. When you surrender to this truth, when you stop trying to fit into the world's expectations and instead expand into your own truth, you will find that you belong exactly where you are, exactly as you are. You will stop trying to prove your worth, and instead you will begin to feel the inherent value that you have always held. You are worthy simply because you exist, because you are a divine expression of love, of light, of infinite potential. The third step is to embrace your uniqueness. There is no one else in the world like you. You were not created to fit into someone else's mold. You were not created to follow someone else's path. You were created to walk your own path, to follow your own heart, and to trust in your own intuition. The world needs your gifts, your talents, your perspective. The world does not need another copy. It needs the original version of you in all your glory. Too often we shrink ourselves because we fear standing out. We fear being different, being seen, being judged. But let me tell you this, when you shrink yourself, when you hide your light, you are depriving the world of the very thing it needs. You are depriving yourself of the joy, the fulfillment, and the connection that comes from living authentically. So I ask you, are you ready to expand? Are you ready to let go of the fear, the doubt, and the need for approval? Are you ready to step fully into your divine power and claim your place in this world, not as a diminished version of yourself, but as the grand, powerful, and limitless being you were always meant to be? When you expand to belong, you do not seek validation from others because you no longer need it. You belong to yourself. You belong to the universe. You belong to the divine flow of life that moves through all things. And in this belonging, in this deep and unshakable knowing that you are enough, you will find the peace, the fulfillment, and the joy that you have been searching for. This is your truth, dear one. You do not need to shrink to fit into a world that does not understand your light. You are meant to shine, to rise, and to expand. And as you do, you will see that you do not have to chase belonging, for belonging will come naturally, effortlessly, as you step into the fullness of who you are. You are already enough. You are already worthy. And you have the power, the strength, and the courage to expand into the greatness that is your birthright. So, let go of the past, release the need for approval, embrace your unique gifts, and step boldly into the world as the magnificent being you were always meant to be. You do not need to shrink to fit. You are meant to expand to belong. And as you expand, you will discover that the world has always been waiting for you to step into your greatness. Now, go forth, dear one, and let your light shine. Let it shine not because you are seeking validation, but because you are remembering who you truly are. You are not just a part of this world, you are the world itself, infinite, expansive, and filled with possibility. Expand to belong. The world is waiting for you to show up. You see, dear soul, there is a force within you, an energy so vast, so powerful, that it could never be contained by the limitations of the world's expectations. It is the same force that flows through the universe, that connects each star in the sky, each ripple in the ocean, each moment of life. This force, this energy is your true essence, your divine inheritance. It is the spark of creation itself, flowing through you, guiding you, calling you to rise above the noise of the world and to step into the truth of who you are. This truth, however, does not come from the outside. It does not come from the approval of others, nor from external validation. It comes from the quiet space within, from the sacred whispers of your soul, from that still point of infinite knowing that you have always had access to. The truth that you seek is not somewhere out there waiting for you to find it. No, it is already within you, patiently awaiting your recognition, your acceptance. So often, we are taught to look outside ourselves for answers. We search the world, we search the people around us for clues, for signs, for directions. We seek approval, affirmation, and guidance, believing that someone else holds the key to our peace, our happiness, our success. But I am here to remind you of something that you already know. Deep within you are the key. You have always been the key. The answers you seek are already written in the stars within you. They are already encoded in the deepest chambers of your heart. And the moment you begin to trust in this truth, the moment you begin to listen to your own soul, you will find that the world begins to rearrange itself in alignment with your highest purpose. You are not lost. You are not broken. You are simply awakening to the truth of who you are. And with this awakening comes the power to heal, to transform, and to expand in ways you never thought possible. When you allow yourself to expand, to fully embody your truth, you are not simply creating change in your own life. You are contributing to the evolution of the entire universe. You are a divine instrument of change, a powerful force of creation. Every time you step into your authentic self, every time you choose to let go of the need to shrink, you are healing not just yourself, but the world around you. You are healing the collective consciousness, lifting the energy of the entire planet. You are a living embodiment of divine possibility. But this requires courage. It requires a willingness to face the unknown, to walk away from the familiar, to surrender the need for certainty. The truth of who you are is not something that can be grasped with the mind. It is not something that can be logically understood, explained, or proven. It is something that must be felt, something that must be experienced in the deepest chambers of your being. And so you must trust. You must trust that the universe is guiding you. You must trust that the path before you is not a random series of events, but a carefully orchestrated sequence of moments designed to bring you into alignment with your highest self. Every experience, every challenge, every setback, every triumph is a part of this grand design. Nothing is by accident. Everything is part of the plan. As you release the need to control, to force outcomes, to manipulate situations, you will find that life begins to flow more effortlessly. The resistance you have carried for so long will begin to dissolve. The weight of expectation, the weight of fear, the weight of self-doubt will lift, and you will feel lighter, freer, more expansive than you ever have before. And in this freedom, you will discover that true peace does not come from external circumstances, but from within. It comes from the quiet, knowing that you are exactly where you need to be, that you are always in the right place at the right time. There is no need to rush. There is no need to worry. There is only the present moment unfolding in perfect harmony with your soul's deepest desires. When you expand into your true self, you no longer need to compare yourself to others. You no longer need to measure your worth by the standards of the world. You are not here to be like anyone else. You are not here to fit into a mold or to live someone else's dream. You are here to live your own unique, extraordinary life. You are here to blaze your own trail, to create your own legacy, and to leave a mark on this world that is as unique as your soul's blueprint. And when you live from this place of authenticity, of alignment with your true self, you will begin to attract everything you need, people, opportunities, experiences into your life. The universe will mirror back to you the energy you radiate. If you radiate love, you will attract love. If you radiate peace, you will attract peace. If you radiate confidence, you will attract confidence. This is the law of attraction at work, not as a magical formula, but as a natural consequence of living in harmony with your true nature. You see, when you are fully in alignment with your authentic self, when you are fully expanded into your divine potential, you become magnetic. You become a beacon of light, drawing everything you need to you effortlessly. You do not have to chase after your desires. You do not have to fight for them. You do not have to prove your worth. You simply need to be. Be who you truly are and the world will come to you. This is the beauty of expanding to belong. You do not have to change yourself to fit in. You do not have to make yourself smaller to be accepted. You do not have to sacrifice your truth to gain approval. Instead, you expand into the fullness of your being, and in that expansion, you will find that you are already home. You belong exactly as you are. There is no need to compete, no need to compare, no need to prove yourself. You belong because you exist. You belong because you are a divine expression of life itself. You belong because the universe created you with a purpose, with a plan, and with a light that is meant to shine brightly. So, as you step into the fullness of who you are, as you expand to belong, remember that you are not alone. You are never alone. You are always connected to the infinite, to the source of all that is, to the divine flow of life that moves through everything. And in that connection, in that knowing, you will find the courage, the strength, and the peace to continue your journey, to continue expanding, and to continue becoming the person you were always meant to be. And as you expand, as you step into your greatness, know that you are not just doing this for yourself. You are doing this for the world. You are doing this for humanity. You are doing this for the collective consciousness. Every time you expand into the truth of who you are, you help raise the vibration of the entire planet. You help to heal the collective wounds, to elevate the energy, to bring more love, more light, more peace into the world. So do not shrink to fit. Expand to belong. Expand to claim your place in this world. Expand to show the world what true power, true peace, and true love look like. Expand to become the fullest, most authentic version of yourself. And in that expansion, you will discover that you do not need to chase belonging, for you have always belonged. The universe has been waiting for you to remember this truth. And now, as you expand, you will see that the world has been waiting for you all along. As you expand, dear soul, the universe becomes more than just a space you occupy. It is no longer a series of random events or disconnected pieces. It transforms into an intricate web of relationships, opportunities, and experiences that are specifically tailored to guide you on your soul's journey. There is no such thing as coincidence. Every moment, every encounter is part of the grand design meant to bring you back into alignment with your divine self. But here lies the beauty when you expand into your true self. You no longer have to search for meaning or validation outside of you. You stop searching for answers in the external world and start finding them within. You are no longer lost, no longer grasping for something that eludes you. Instead, you become a conscious co-creator with the universe, intentionally aligning your thoughts, actions, and energy with the flow of life. This is not about forcing or striving. It is about trust. It is about surrendering to the flow of the universe, knowing that everything you need is already on its way to you. As you let go of the need to control, the universe begins to flow through you effortlessly. Doors open, opportunities arise. People enter your life who resonate with your energy. Situations unfold in ways you could never have imagined, and yet they feel perfectly aligned with your soul's deepest desires. Let go of the belief that you must work harder or push further to achieve. Let go of the idea that life is a struggle to be won. Life is not a battle to be fought. It is a dance to be embraced. When you align with your true nature, life becomes a beautiful, effortless flow. The only effort required is the effort to release the need for struggle. The only work you need to do is the inner work of letting go, of resistance, of opening your heart, of trusting the path that unfolds before you. And let me remind you, the path may not always be easy. There will be moments of challenge, moments where you feel uncertain or afraid, but this is part of the process. These moments are not signs that you are on the wrong path. They are signs that you are growing, evolving, and expanding. They are the universe's way of showing you where you still hold resistance, where you are still attached to limiting beliefs, where you are still holding on to fear. And each time you face these moments with courage and trust, you will find yourself shedding layers of the old self, the false self, the self that was built on fear and scarcity. and emerging into the fullness of who you truly are. You will learn that there is nothing to fear. There is only the present moment, the moment that is always full of infinite possibilities. In each breath, you are given the opportunity to choose again, to choose love, to choose trust, to choose expansion. And with each conscious choice, you create your reality, one thought at a time. As you continue to expand, you will begin to see the world with new eyes. You will no longer see a world of limitation and lack. Instead, you will see a world of abundance and possibility. You will understand that the universe is not something separate from you, but that it is you and you are it. The same energy that created the stars, the planets, and the galaxies is the same energy that flows through you. You are not separate from this vastness. You are a part of it, an extension of it. And as you step into your true self, you will begin to feel the immense power and beauty that resides within you. You are the embodiment of the divine, and as such, you are capable of creating miracles in your life. But these miracles are not about bending the world to your will. They are about aligning with the flow of divine energy and allowing it to move through you. The miracles are not outside of you. They are the natural result of living in alignment with your true self. As you expand, you will notice that the people around you begin to shift as well. You will begin to attract those who resonate with your energy, those who support and uplift you, those who reflect back the beauty and power that you have come to recognize in yourself. The relationships that once felt draining or disconnected will begin to transform. You will no longer settle for relationships that do not honor your true self. You will no longer allow others to diminish your light. And in turn, you will inspire others to do the same. Your expansion will be contagious. As you step into your truth, you will show others that they too are capable of doing the same. You will awaken the divine within them, reminding them of their own limitless potential. The more you expand, the more you help others expand, and together, you will create a world where authenticity, love, and truth are the foundation of all human interaction. This is what it means to live in harmony with your true self. It means knowing that you do not need to shrink to fit into the world's standards. You belong not because you fit in, but because you are willing to stand out as the unique and powerful being you are always meant to be. You expand, not for others, but for yourself. You expand because your soul is calling you to. And in this expansion, you will find not only your true self, but a deep sense of belonging that cannot be shaken because it is not dependent on anyone else's approval. The world will not always understand your expansion, but that does not matter. It is not for the world to understand, it is for you to live it. And as you live it, you will begin to see that you are exactly where you are meant to be. You will begin to feel the deep peace that comes from knowing that you are not here to please anyone. You are here to fulfill your own soul's purpose, to expand into the fullness of your divine essence, and to show the world the beauty that comes from living in alignment with your true nature. So let go. Let go of the fear, let go of the doubts, let go of the limiting beliefs that tell you that you are not enough, that you are not worthy, that you must shrink to fit in. Step into your greatness. Step into your truth. Step into the light that has always been within you. And as you do, you will find that you are not alone, for the universe will walk with you every step of the way. In the end, it is not about fitting in. It is about expanding to belong, not because you have conformed, but because you have embraced your true self. You are not here to shrink. You are here to expand, to rise, and to shine brightly for the world to see. And as you expand, you will find that you belong not because of what you have done, but because of who you are. And this, dear soul, is the greatest gift you can give yourself, the gift of being fully, authentically, and beautifully you. The world is waiting for you to step into your greatness. Will you? As we approach the final moments of this journey, it is important to ground ourselves in the deep, transformative realization that you have always been whole, always been worthy, and always been enough. The external world may have tried to convince you otherwise, but the truth of who you are cannot be altered by the opinions of others or the limitations of the past. The truth is simple yet profoundly powerful. You are a divine being, an expression of pure love and light, here to expand, to grow, and to fulfill the purpose that has been written in your soul long before you were born. As you continue on this path of self-expansion, you will find that it is not about becoming someone else, nor is it about attaining something you do not already possess. It is about remembering who you truly are, remembering the infinite potential that lies dormant within you, waiting for the moment when you choose to awaken to it. It is about shedding the layers of fear, doubt, and limiting beliefs that have kept you small, and allowing the fullness of your divine essence to emerge. And as you allow yourself to expand, as you allow yourself to step into the fullness of your being, you will begin to see the world with new eyes. You will no longer see obstacles, you will see opportunities. You will no longer see limitations, you will see possibilities. And you will no longer see yourself as separate from the universe, you will see yourself as a vital, integral part of it. A part of the grand design, a divine expression of creation, here to contribute to the beauty, the love, and the light that are the essence of life itself. But remember this, the path to expansion is not a straight line. It is not a path of perfection. There will be times when you stumble, when you question yourself, when you feel uncertain, and that's okay. The very act of expansion requires vulnerability. It requires the courage to face the unknown, to walk through the darkness, and trust that the light will emerge on the other side. It is in these moments of uncertainty that you are given the opportunity to grow the most, to release the fears that have held you back, and to step into a new level of understanding and awareness. This is the path of the awakened soul. It is the path of surrender, of trust, of love. It is the path of aligning your thoughts, your actions, and your energy with the truth of who you are, not who the world says you should be, but who your soul knows you to be. And as you walk this path, you will find that the universe begins to align with you. Doors will open, opportunities will present themselves, and you will be led to people and experiences that resonate with your highest truth. You do not need to chase after these things. You do not need to force them into being. They will come to you as naturally as the breath you take when you align with your true self. And in this alignment, you will find that the world begins to mirror back the very energy that you are radiating, an energy of love, of peace, of authenticity. The more you expand, the more you allow yourself to embody your true nature, the more you will experience the freedom that comes with knowing you are enough, exactly as you are. There is nothing you need to do to earn your place in this world. You already belong. Your mere existence is a gift, a miracle, and the universe is constantly supporting you in living your most expansive and authentic life. So, I ask you once again, are you ready? Are you ready to step into the fullness of who you are? Are you ready to expand, to let go of the fear, and to embrace the infinite potential that is already within you? You are not here to fit in. You are here to stand out, to rise up, and to be the light in a world that needs it. You are here to expand into your truest self, and in that expansion, you will discover that you are not only enough, but you are everything. You are the beginning and the end, the light and the love, the infinite potential of the universe unfolding in human form. The world is waiting for you to shine, waiting for you to step into your power and claim your place in the grand design. The moment has arrived, dear soul. It is time to expand. It is time to rise. It is time to be who you truly are. And as you do, you will discover that the world will embrace you, not because you have become someone else, but because you have become fully, completely, and unapologetically you. You are already enough. You always have been. Now, step into your greatness, expand to belong. The universe is waiting for you to show up. You are the light. You are the love. You are the power. And you belong not because you fit in, but because you are exactly who you were always meant to be. Expand, dear soul, and let the world see you shine. There is a whisper within you that existed before your name. Before the world taught you how to fear, how to shrink, how to ache under the weight of comparison. There was a presence still, silent and infinitely sure of itself. It did not question its worth. It did not ask for permission. It simply was. And that presence, that soul, is still you, untouched by the noise, untouched by the illusion of insufficiency. Doubt. Doubt. That ancient shadow. It comes cloaked in logic and fear, disguised as caution and dressed in reason. It sits beside you, not with malice, but with misunderstanding. Doubt is not your enemy. It is merely the signal that you have begun to wander away from who you truly are. It is the alarm that rings when you lean too far into the identity the world gave you and too far from the one your soul remembers. You see, doubt is not a truth. It never was. Doubt is a cloud, and you, dear soul, are the sky. A sky has no quarrel with clouds. It does not rage against them. It allows them to pass, knowing they are transient, while it remains infinite, unharmed whole. The same is true for you. You were not born with doubt. A newborn doesn't question whether its cry deserves to be heard, whether its needs are valid, whether it has the right to take up space. That kind of questioning is learned. That kind of questioning is handed down through systems, through wounded voices, through fearful eyes, but it is not native to your spirit. So what is doubt then? But a bell, a sacred bell reminding you to return home to truth, to remember. You are not your fear. You are not your mistakes. You are not your temporary thoughts. You are not your credentials. You are not your failures. You are not the voice in your head that trembles in the face of greatness. You are not that hesitation. You are the one observing it. And the observer is always free. The ego will try to convince you that doubt is your compass, that safety is found in questioning yourself, that humility means shrinking to fit into molds that comfort others. But this is not humility. That is fear masquerading as wisdom. True humility is not hiding your light. It is knowing your light is not your own. It belongs to something greater that chose to shine through you. You were chosen to be here, not by accident, not randomly. The infinite does not roll dice. The divine intelligence that beats your heart, that breathes through the trees, that sends waves to kiss the shore in perfect rhythm, placed you here on purpose. In this body, in this time, with these dreams. And doubt, though it may rise like a wave, has no power to unwrite that truth. Listen to me now, not with your ears, but with your essence. When doubt shows up, do not run. Do not shrink. Do not believe its voice without question. Instead, pause and go deeper. Ask it gently, what are you trying to protect me from? You'll find that beneath doubt is usually an old wound, the fear of rejection, of not being enough, of being seen and judged. But your spirit is not woundable. Only the ego bleeds in the battle of perception. The soul cannot be harmed. Doubt is a signal that the ego has taken the driver's seat. And in that moment, it is not truth that you are hearing, it is programming. It is the echo of someone else's fear, someone else's limitation, dressed up in your own voice. But don't condemn it. Don't fight it. Sit with it like a teacher. Because all of life is teaching you how to return to love. Even your doubt is a doorway if you're willing to walk through it. You see, we've confused certainty with arrogance. And in doing so, we've handed our power to hesitation. But what if certainty isn't arrogance at all? What if it's reverence? What if being certain in your worth is not pride, but obedience to the truth that God placed inside you? What if refusing to shrink is not selfishness, but surrender? Surrender to the brilliance that wants to live through you? Every time you doubt yourself, you are not dishonoring your mind. You are dishonoring your source. Because you were not created to tiptoe through life apologizing for your existence. You were sculpted in the image of something eternal, something that does not hesitate, something that does not tremble, something that does not forget itself. And yet, here you are doubting your calling, your art, your message, your beauty, your timing. But I'll tell you something. and you must let it pierce the noise. You do not need to be perfect to be purposeful. You do not need to be fearless to be faithful. You do not need to know everything to begin. Doubt says, wait until you're ready. But the soul says, you are already becoming. When a seed is buried in the darkness, it does not doubt the sun. It does not question whether it will reach the sky. It leans, it stretches, it opens, because it knows that growing pains are not proof of failure, but signs of life. So when your doubt feels heavy, remember this: growth often feels like uncertainty. But uncertainty is not absence of truth. It is the space where truth is waiting to be remembered. So begin. Begin even if your hands shake. Begin even if your voice trembles. Begin even if your knees are weak. Because motion clarifies. The soul doesn't need all the answers. It just needs your willingness to move. And what of failure? What of rejection? What if it doesn't work? Well, what if it does? What if the life you are imagining is not a fantasy, but a memory, a soul memory of what you were always meant to become? What if your longing is not a weakness, but a compass? What if your ache is not a sign of emptiness, but of calling? You've been told to be realistic, but realism is just a prison built by those who've forgotten how to dream. And you, my dear, are a dreamer. Not the shallow dreamer of escape, but the deep dreamer of awakening. The one who sees with the eyes of the soul and knows that this world is but a mirror of what is believed to be possible. So change the mirror, change the thought. Doubt is a reflection, not a decree. And you are the one holding the glass. Keep walking. The road to awakening is not paved with certainty, it is carved with trust. It is walked by those who feel the doubt and go anyway. By those who know that a feeling is not a command, that fear is not prophecy, that hesitation is not the same as halting your destiny. Every great soul felt doubt. Every enlightened being questioned the path, but they did not stop, and neither should you. Because there's someone watching you, someone who sees you as proof that it's possible, someone who is waiting to believe in themselves because you believed in you. And when you move through your doubt, you don't just free yourself, you free generations. You free hearts that you'll never even meet. And isn't that reason enough? So the next time doubt rises, smile gently at it. Say, thank you for the signal, but I remember the truth now. And keep going, because you are not here to live from fear. You are here to live from freedom. And doubt is just the smoke. You, my dear, are the fire. You, who stand at the edge of something new, something vast, something terrifying in its potential, do not mistake your racing heart for a stop sign. Do not confuse the flutter in your chest with the voice of truth. That flutter is simply your body remembering how much power lives in you. And power, when it is not claimed, will always feel like fear. But it's not fear you're feeling, it's awakening. It's expansion. It's the sacred stretch of your soul reaching beyond the boundaries your mind constructed to feel safe. Doubt is the tension between the self you have known and the self you are being invited to become. And every time you feel it rise, know that it is not asking you to retreat, it is asking you to rise. You were never meant to stay the same. Nature doesn't apologize for its blooming. The moon does not mourn its changing face. The ocean does not doubt its tide. So why do you doubt your becoming? Why do you hesitate when the winds of change are moving you? Why do you resist the very unfolding that life designed for your liberation? Because you were taught to worship certainty. You were taught to find comfort in sameness. You were taught that safety lives in the familiar. But here's what your soul knows. Safety is not found in predictability, it is found in presence. The more rooted you become in the now, the less you will need the illusion of control. Doubt feeds on the past and the future. It cannot survive in the sanctuary of this moment. It needs a mind racing with what ifs. But the soul breathes, I am. Breathe that in. I am, not I will be when. Not I was before, but I am. That is the name of the divine. That is the mantra of the awakened. That is the power that moves through you even as you tremble. You see, your worth is not up for negotiation. It is not based on performance. It is not dependent on the opinions of others. It is not measured by likes or praise or outcome. Your worth is fixed, unshakable, eternal. Like the sun that keeps shining, even when clouds try to hide it, your value remains. No matter what voices rise against Deepen, your own. And the voices will rise. They will whisper, who are you to speak? Who are you to lead? Who are you to shine, to sing, to build, to believe? But you must learn to answer them not with force, not with aggression, but with truth. You answer with a quiet, unwavering knowing, I am a child of the infinite. I am a vessel of divine intelligence. I am here not to be small, but to be real, to be whole, to be light. Even the Buddha felt doubt under the Bodhi tree. Even Christ felt the weight of uncertainty in the garden. Even the saints and sages cried out in the darkness of their becoming. But they did not stop. They did not let doubt dictate their destiny, and neither must you. There will be days when the path ahead seems blurry. There will be moments when your old self begs you to turn back. But I promise you this, clarity lives on the other side of commitment. When you commit to the truth of who you are, when you commit to walking even when it's dark, the light will find you. You are being sculpted by the hands of the universe. And every moment of doubt is not a flaw, it is part of the chiseling, the cracking, the awakening, the refinement of who you were never meant to be, falling away so that who you truly are can emerge. Let it fall. Let the old ideas of who you had to be dissolve. Let the roles you wore to please the world slip off your shoulders. Let the mask of not enough melt in the fire of your truth. You are more than the doubt you carry. You are the awareness behind it. You are not the storm, you are the sky that holds it. You are not the ache, you are the breath that moves through it. You are not the noise, you are the silence underneath. And in that silence is peace. In that silence is the memory of who you were before the world taught you how to be afraid. Return to it. Return to yourself. Not the self shaped by survival, but the self born in stillness. Your soul did not come here to blend in. It came to break open, to burn away illusions, to dissolve falsehoods, to rise with every fall, to become a living testament that the truth is not something you find, it is something you remember. So when doubt comes again, and it will, don't run from it, don't fight it, don't treat it as an enemy. Welcome it like a wise friend who reminds you to choose to believe in something deeper, choose to trust the unfolding, choose to stand in the truth that even your doubt is part of the dance. It does not cancel your divinity, it does not undo your destiny. It only invites you to lean closer to your knowing. And your knowing, it's still there, waiting like a quiet flame beneath the surface, like a lighthouse in the fog, like a mother's voice calling you home. You don't have to wait until you're fearless to move forward. You only have to remember that fear is not the same as truth. Doubt is not a verdict, it is an invitation. An invitation to pause, to breathe, to realign with the source that never doubted you. Not once, not ever. Would the divine create a soul unworthy of its own light? Would the infinite place you here without equipping you for the path? Would the same power that orbits the stars, paints the skies, and grows the forests ever leave you without purpose? No, you are here because you are needed. You are alive because something greater still wants to express through you. And though the mind may doubt, the spirit never does. It knows. It always knows. And so must you. Do not be surprised when doubt arrives dressed as logic. It wears the mask of reason, the language of caution, and the tone of someone trying to protect you. But be wise enough to recognize that not all protectors are aligned with your expansion. Some parts of you want safety more than freedom. Some thoughts would rather you stay in the cage because the air outside, though fresh, is unfamiliar. But you must decide, will you live a life of comfort in limitation or courage in liberation? Every time you hesitate to speak your truth, to follow your vision, to take the next step, ask yourself, who is doubting? What voice is this? Is it the voice of the timeless, boundless self within me? Or is it the echo of past wounds, unhealed memories, and inherited fears? Trace it back, follow the thread. Doubt is never rooted in the know-it, is a ripple from what was or what might be. It cannot live in the breath you are taking right now, in this very moment, where nothing is missing. You've given doubt too much authority. You've let it sit at the table of your decisions. You've treated it like a wise elder when it is only a child afraid of the dark. But you are no longer that child. You are the light now. You are the calm presence that holds the fear without collapsing into it. You are the parent to your own mind. You are the keeper of your own soul. You must lead yourself home. When the world says, play small, your spirit says, rise up. When society screams, fit in, your essence whispers, stand out. When doubt pleads, wait until you're certain, the voice of truth, deep and ancient, smiles and says, begin now. Doubt thrives in delay. It feeds on pause. It grows in the gaps between your calling and your action. But action is the antidote. Move, even if your steps are unsure. Speak, even if your voice shakes. Show up. Not because you are unafraid, but because you are unwilling to be ruled by fear any longer. This is the path of the awakened. This is the way of the soul-led life. It is not absence of doubt, it is mastery over it. It is hearing the noise and choosing the silence. It is feeling the quake in your chest and walking forward anyway. It is allowing fear to ride in the car, but never ever letting it touch the wheel. Because your destiny is not built on the absence of resistance. It is forged in the fire of movement despite resistance. Every act of courage weakens the grip of doubt. Every time you honor your inner voice over the voices outside, you rewire your nervous system to trust the divine blueprint etched into your being. There is a compass in your chest. It doesn't point north, it points inward. It points toward alignment, resonance, truth. And when you follow it, even when it defies reason, even when others don't understand, you feel it, you feel alive. That feeling is your soul clapping. That feeling is God saying, yes, that's it. Keep going. You see, doubt is not a wall, it's a door. But it will not swing open unless you knock with your faith. You must lean into what scares you, not to prove something, but to remember something, that the light within you cannot be extinguished by uncertainty, that you were born with a fire the world cannot define, that there is something in you greater than every fear combined. The sages were not fearless, they were just practiced in silence. They heard the same noise, but they returned to stillness quicker. They didn't argue with their thoughts. They watched them drift by like clouds in a sky that cannot be stained. And you too can be that sky. You too can be that vast, that free, that anchored in the knowing that your thoughts are weather, not the landscape. Let it pass. Let it move. Let the doubts come and go, but do not give them names. Do not build temples to your hesitation. Do not make an identity out of your indecision. You are not your stuckness. You are not your spiral. You are not the delay. You are the witness. And the witness is always whole. Come back to wholeness. Come back to breath. Come back to this moment where nothing is broken, nothing is missing, nothing is wrong. Because right here in the stillness between heartbeats, you are safe. You are seen. You are chosen. You are enough not in some future version of yourself, not after you achieve or fix or earn something, but now, always now. And from that place of enoughness, you can act, you can give, you can speak, you can love, you can rise, not to prove anything, but to be who you already are. to express what the infinite has placed within you, to echo the song of your soul into a world starved of truth. You do not need to understand the entire path to take the next step. You do not need to silence every doubt to speak your message. You do not need to be fearless to be faithful. You just need to say yes, though, the now, to the call, to the truth that lives in your bones. And when doubt comes, as it will, greet it with grace. Greet it with gratitude. Say, thank you for reminding me where I still hesitate to trust. Thank you for showing me where I still think I am separate from source. Thank you for being the signal that points me back to my center. Because that's all it is, a signal. A signal that the ego is speaking louder than the soul. A signal that you are on the brink of something sacred. A signal that you are standing at the doorway of your next becoming. But the truth is not in the noise. The truth is in the stillness. The truth is in your breath. The truth is in your knowing that cannot be touched by thought. And that truth, it will always wait for you. Patient, loving, undisturbed, like the sun waiting behind every storm, like love waiting beneath every fear, like God waiting behind every doubt. The voice of doubt is loud because it's trying to be believed. It shouts because it knows it is fragile. It trembles behind its volume. But the voice of truth does not shout. It whispers because it doesn't need to convince you. It only needs to remind you. And when you are quiet enough, still enough, surrendered enough, you hear it. In the pause between worries, in the breath between thoughts, in the silence beneath your striving, you hear the sacred reminder, I am. I am the breath. I am the awareness. I am the presence that is never afraid, never rushed, never doubting. I am that which watches the storm, but is not swept by it. You were never asked to be perfect, only present. You were never required to know everything, only to trust. You were never told to avoid the unknown, only to walk with it, hand in hand with faith. And this is where your true power lives, not in mastering every detail, not in controlling every outcome, but in remembering who walks with you, who breathes through you, who lives inside you. The divine is not outside, it is not elsewhere, it is not later, it is now. And now is where the miracle begins. Doubt is a veil, thin and trembling. When you stop feeding it with your energy, it falls. What remains is clarity. Not the clarity of perfect plans, but the clarity of presence. The clarity that says, I may not know where this path leads, but I know who I am as I walk it. You were created from certainty, not fear. You were formed in wholeness, not lack. The fabric of your being is stitched together with purpose. Your soul is older than your fear, so live like it. Speak with the weight of ancient knowing. Walk with the peace of those who remember eternity. Act not because you are certain, but because you are called. Because this world doesn't need more people hiding behind logic. It needs people daring to live from love. People bold enough to stand in their truth, even with shaking knees. People honest enough to say, yes, I doubt, but I will not let it define me. The world needs your light, not when it's perfect, but now. Not when it's certain, but now. Not when everyone approves, but now. Because your soul didn't come here to play a role. It came to shatter illusion. It came to heal the lineage. It came to anchor heaven into earth. You think your life is small? There is no such thing. Every moment of courage, every act of truth, every breath taken in alignment ripples into the collective field. What you overcome in silence is felt in the unseen. What you heal in private transforms humanity. You are not alone in this journey, not ever. You walk with ancestors who pray through your voice. You rise with future generations carried on your shoulders. You awaken not just for yourself, but for the world. So when doubt says, stay small, remember that your expansion is an act of service. When doubt says, don't speak, remember that your voice is medicine. When doubt says, you're not ready, Remember that readiness is not a feeling, it's a decision. You decide to trust. You decide to act. You decide to believe that the divine would not place a dream in your heart without also placing the power to realize it in your hands. Yes, there will be moments when you falter, moments when your knees buckle under the pressure, moments when it all feels too big. But in those moments, return to breath, return to being, return to the eternal truth. You are not doing this alone. You are being carried. You are being breathed. You are being guided by something that never doubts your worth, your place, your timing. So align with that, speak from that, live from that, and let the doubt dissolve in the radiance of your faith. Let it pass like morning fog under the noonday sun. Let it go like a wave that has served its purpose, and rise again and again as the soul who remembers, because memory is the path, not memory of the mind, but of the spirit. The memory that says, I am more than this fear, I am more than this moment, I am the light behind the cloud, I am the stillness beneath the roar, I am the breath of God in motion. And when you remember that, when you truly remember, you become unstoppable. Not because you never fall, but because you know how to rise. Not because the path is easy, but because you no longer need it to be. Not because you never doubt, but because you know doubt is only a signal, not a truth. You were not sent here to convince the world of your worth. You were sent to embody it, to walk through life with the quiet knowing that you are a thread in the infinite tapestry of existence. You belong, not because you earned it, but because you are. And that is enough. Doubt tries to steal that knowing. It tries to bargain with your worth, to attach it to outcomes and applause and proof. But worth that must be proven is not true. Worth it is performance. And your soul came to be, not perform. Your being is the blessing. Your presence is the gift. And when you return to that truth, your doubt loses its grip. Because what is there to doubt when you are already complete? You are not incomplete. You are in progress. You are not broken. You are becoming. You are not behind. You are exactly on time. And even your detours are part of the design. Even your confusion is sacred. Even your delay is divine. Nothing is wasted when you walk with awareness. Everything belongs when you walk with love. This is not about perfection. This is not about doing it right. This is about being real, about being whole, about saying yes to your spirit, even when your mind protests, about standing up again and again, even if the world has not yet clapped, because the applause that matters comes from within. It comes from alignment. It comes from peace. It comes from that still voice inside that whispers, yes, this is the way. Your life is not an accident. Your dreams are not delusion. Your voice is not irrelevant. And your doubts are not destiny. They are only signals to codes passing storms. Do not anchor yourself in them. Anchor yourself in love, in truth, in the deep ocean of spirit that never changes, no matter how loud the winds howl. Have you forgotten how powerful you are? Look at how many doubts you've already survived. Look at how many fears you've already walked through. Look at the moments when you were certain it was over, and yet here you are, still breathing, still standing, still becoming. That is not weakness. That is power. That is resilience. That is the presence of something eternal within you. And if it's been with you this far, do you not trust it to carry you further? The oak tree does not ask for proof of its roots before it grows. The river does not doubt its right to flow. The dawn does not hesitate to break through darkness. And you, child of the infinite why, would you doubt your light? Why would you wait for the world's permission to shine? Why would you hold back the medicine in your voice, the truth in your step, the power in your presence? The world is aching for the very thing you are withholding. Your clarity, your courage, your conviction, and you don't need to wait until you feel ready to give it. Readiness is not a prerequisite for transformation. Willingness is. You are not here to rehearse life. You are here to live it, to leap before you feel fully prepared, to speak even when your voice is rough, to write the book while your hands still shake, to love before the fear is gone, to believe before you see the result, because belief is not the product of evidence, it is the soil that grows it. And you were born to believe, not in fantasy, but in the deeper reality that your mind has forgotten and your soul has never lost. You are the breath of God made flesh. You are the pause between stars. You are the living proof that the infinite wants to experience life in human form. And when you move in alignment with that, doubt may knock, but it cannot enter. Fear may speak, but it cannot command. The noise may rise, but it cannot drown your knowing, because truth lives deeper, and your life, when lived from that depth, becomes a lighthouse for others lost in their own storms. You may never know how many are saved by your light. You may never see the waves you calm with your presence. But you must trust that the light you carry has purpose far beyond your eyes. So do not let doubt silence it. Do not let fear smother it. Do not let delay distract it. Fan the flame. Speak the word. Walk the path. Even if no one claps. Even if no one sees. Even if your hands shake and your knees tremble. Because your soul sees. Because your soul knows. And in the end, that is the only knowing that matters. That is the only truth that will remain when the noise has passed. That you were here, that you lived, that you remembered, that you became what you already were, that you let the signal of doubt guide you back to the fire of truth, that you honored the divine not by avoiding fear, but by walking through it with your eyes wide open, your heart even wider, and your spirit untouched. And when the day comes that your journey is complete, you will look back and smile, not because you had no doubt, but because you never let it decide who you would be. You chose love. You chose truth. You chose the breath beneath the fear. And that, my beloved soul, is the only victory that matters. That you remembered. Doubt is only a signal, never a truth.